3 Dollar Tree DIYs. I hope that you enjoy it. Before I start, I just want to mention if you are enjoying my videos, I'd love for you to subscribe so you don't miss a video from me. And if you like this video in particular, make sure you give it a thumbs up. So let's just jump right in. Alright, for the first DIY, you're going to need some faux flowers. I picked up these carnations and some hydrangeas. You're also going to need something to put your flowers in, and then you're going to need some floral foam. I had this on hand, but I know that you can find it at the Dollar Tree. You're also going to need some wire cutters because I'm going to cut down these flowers to size. I have a space in mind for them and it's kind of short, so I want to make sure that I cut these at a good length. You've cut down all your flowers, you're going to now put them in your little container. I've put the floral foam in here already, but what I did was I just cut it up with a butter knife. And then you just start putting your flowers in. It's really easy. Just put them in. There's no rhyme or reason here. I thought that I had wanted the hydrangeas sort of centered in the middle with the carnations around the outside, but as I sort of turned it around and looked at it from more angles, I didn't really like it that much, so I decided to put the carnations just sort of in amongst the hydrangeas, and I like that look much better. So here it is. Well, it's done. I've put it on my shelf in my kitchen and I really love it. For DIY number 2, you're going to need a cake pan. I got this from the Dollar Tree. You're also going to need some succulents. You're also going to need some type of moss, as well as a hot glue gun. So to start the project off, I took the succulents out of their little containers. I would have loved to find succulent picks, but they didn't have them at my Dollar Tree at the time. I was left with these little containers. If you have an idea for me, let me know in the comments below of how I can reuse those. Then I took my clippers and cut the picks off the bottom because I'm going to be hot gluing them into this pan here, and so I just wanted them to lay flat. So this project is really easy. Just start by hot gluing the moss down onto the pan. I'm only going to be using the bottom half of the pan. The top half is going to stay as is. It's going to stay blank. So I just go through and hot glue all this moss down onto the bottom of the pan. And then I start gluing in my succulents. So I decided to use 3 succulents. So I just hot glued them around and then filled in everything else with the moss. So there you have it. This is project number 2 done. I'm not even really sure what I would call it, but I've just placed it here on my kitchen shelf, but I imagine it would look beautiful hung on the wall, maybe in a set of 3 or something like that. Okay, so this is the last project. It is an eclectic type planter, so what you'll need is 1 planter. I got this from the Dollar Tree, obviously, and then you'll need some rope or twine. I also have this rope here. I was going to use it because I was maybe going to hang it, but in the end decided not to use it. You'll also need some yarn. Any color will do. I chose this nice, pretty colorful yarn. And you'll also need a piece of cardboard because you'll be making tassels. And lastly, you're going to need a hot glue gun. So to get started, what you're going to do is take that twine and wrap it all around the planter, and I just start with the hot glue and wrap it around, and then every once in a while I'll go in with the hot glue and put more hot glue on just so that it stays in place. I found that it kind of slid down if I didn't hot glue it enough, so I just wrapped the twine all around, and this is how it looks, very rustic. And then we're on to making the tassels. So this was the first time I actually made tassels, and it turned out pretty well. So what you're going to do to make the tassel is wrap your yarn around your piece of cardboard. And I did it about 20 times, 25 times. And then when you're done, you cut it off and then take about a 2 or 3 inch piece of yarn, slide it through underneath here because you're going to be tying it up top. I just tied it in a double knot. And then once you're done that tying, you're going to take your scissors and then just cut off the bottom. So cut the part here, and so you're left with what's almost a tassel, and then you cut another piece of about 2 or 3 inches, and you're going to tie just about maybe 1/2 centimeter down the tassel just to make your little top loop there. So this was a bit of an exercise in patience, but I really like the way that it turned out. As I made more tassels, I realized that it was easier just to start with that tying piece of yarn up top over the cardboard and then just wrap around it. So I ended up making 7 tassels for this project, and just enough to sort of wrap all the way along. So I cut a piece of yarn and fed it through the top of each tassel so that they were all on the piece of yarn, and then I was able to wrap it around, I'd say maybe 1/4 or 1/5 of the way down, and I hot glued it on there and then went around with my scissors and sort of just trimmed up the tassels just to make them look a bit more presentable. And yeah, so this is it in the end. I really love that it looks quite rustic, and I have plans to put a real plant in this planter, but I don't have one yet.